it was not gonna, they were not gonna lose it unless, of course, little birdie told us that what if maybe these two know each other a little bit too well and decided that the Baksha was priority.
I feel like there is more than meets the eye, right? Because it's one of those draft patterns from both CG and as well as BSE that felt very intentional, yet I couldn't see the logic until the first initial picks come through, right? So it's not like it's telegraphed to them, but it's curiosity for us. Let's see if the adjustments are going to be the exact same thing, because now we're seeing that BSE, yeah, see, right? The Claude band is maintained despite being on blue side.
So we're gonna see the exact or some similar picks. The Yuzhong 2 still open for both sides. That's been banned earlier, if I'm not mistaken.
I will
yeah.
be the truth
There you
this
go.
world desperately needs.
This is turning out to be the exact same draft, right? If not, at least the exact same bands.
Yeah. Even though they switch sides, it's still the same priorities.
Except for this. I think this was on the blue side earlier.
Yeah.
Yes. Ban out Eve.
I think.
Just get rid of it.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
Let's just get rid of it.
So that leaves the
priority
Juicin
of shit.
open.
Oh, you're right. Jushin is wide open. Ooh, that kind of sucks. Okay, you know what? You ban out the Jushin. You give over Farsa, Eve. You choose, and then we pick Artillery Mage, or just Gatot Jungler.
Yeah, comes out. Zone's gone. So.
Oh,
Okay. They open up both.
Also.
Yeah. So. Because if whatever Black Sentence picks, the other one just goes. Lance first, knowing that it's just going to be a fight between Eve and Jushin in terms of the mid-prio.
All right, Carl TZ, let's see how it's gonna go, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is very bold. Even the GOAT himself locked it in and dropped the game when it mattered. So Hilda, yep.
look at that.
What you get for prioritizing Lancelot.
Okay.
Easiest two picks, CG.
Should we see?
Everyone for.
Should we see Gatot now? Or maybe. I don't think you'd want to Cho either in this kind.
Honestly, hot take, maybe pick up the glue early on.
get
Latch
blue
on the
early.
E. Don't latch on to the hill.
Still high loss.
I don't think it's a bad idea, but I think that it will suffer in the second half, because then you can really start to pinch down on your opponents. It kind of depends whether they committed to it or not, but high loss carry, I think is really, really safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also there are a lot of much better EXP laners open. The Lapu-Lapu's also still open.
Yeah.
Remember, the Lapu-Lapu would be more than happy to go up against a lineup that has the glue. Stranger for CG, so now this time they're going to be playing the Black Sentence back line, focused lineup.
Wow.
Take out the Jushin, and now Shin might actually run out of heroes here. Just to even add more to it, CG just straight up bans Farsa, and then now Shin is gonna have to play something like a
Lunox.
Kimi or a Lunox.
Yeah.
Or a Valentina if he's up for it, but then...
There needs to be a bigger reason other than just RW.
Yeah.
There has to be a bigger reason. Baxia is gonna get banned out this time around. Okay, so with the high loss and the carry, it just means that CG is very unlikely to go for a jungler who is that's gonna be super dive eccentric. Maybe with the only exception of like maybe high loss and arguably a Joy, because Gary probably felt really good after game number 1. But other than that, there's not a lot of mobility to actually work with this point and click stun if they stand just next to the high loss.
Trading in the mid might be difficult here for Black Sentence, considering that Chico has the Eve.
Oh my goodness.
That is actually a Shin favorite pick.
So they're okay with the Farsa and
considering that the red 4 pick, even if they just decide to show, okay, we'll just pick up a hero here right now that can just easily dive the Farsa, and then they're fine with it.
yeah, that's right.
Either way, it feels like CG has already kind of won the draft here. Yeah, the Joy finally gets banned out. Now it's going to be purely based on it's going to be purely based on the performance of Gary. I mean, he can go for Yishin Shin if he wants to, and it still wouldn't be much of an issue for him. They could go for, I mean, Hayabusa seems really, really safe, but I think easily, do they want to reveal where this Hilda is the question.
I'm okay with it. Pick up an EXP now, reveal the Hilda at Rome. and then adjust your jungler, whether it's going to be the Hayabusa as the last assassin or you suddenly swerve and you go Fredrin. So you have a tank jungler. Yes, you're up against a carry, but then you only pick that up if you don't see something like the Kimmy or anything that could really give it difficulty. If you want to play solely around your Granger and Eve, because if they also go assassin here early on, that's 3 carries already. So they show it, they'll go for EXP.
That's such a great pick.
Which is exactly why. They go Vengeance. It makes sense now to actually pick up the Fredrin as their last pick if it can actually go well with whatever Black Sentence finals picks here.
Yeah, very, very interesting here. Now, Esmeralda will eventually come to a point where the Esme outscales the CC, but it really depends on what the CC's build is, right? Because CC becomes a lot less tanky and has scalable damage, assuming that you have access to things like Hunter Strike, things like, obviously, War Axe, but most importantly, having access to Sea Halberd, right? Once you get that Sea Halberd on top of the Hunter Strike, then you've got a pretty decent chance. But there we go. Finally, the Nulok shows up right at the very end. You don't need to do anything crazy anymore.
So much shred, maybe.
I would say
Fredrin, after the Lunox showed up, it's like, yeah, that's gonna be really tough for Fred, so just go for the Lunox, and then you get damage. Excuse me, Nolan, and then you get the damage. So, a lot of options for CG Esports in terms of their damage department. They can play through their Eve, their Granger, their Nolan. Their CC has some great link-up as well.
Yep.
While for Black Sentence, it's very honest for both. Quite too honest, maybe, but maybe we're gonna see another kill fest between the two. Lineup rating favors CG in terms of the late game.
Yeah, I'm loving CG's lineup
excuse me, early
because of
game.
the CGC op CGCC, the CC and the
CGCC,
yeah,
yes.
the CGCC. It's just because it feels like it's so easy to use the curtain call.
Yeah.
In this scenario, and it soft counters the land a lot, and it just like makes things so much more difficult, even if you want to go run over towards your opponent. So let's see how BSE could potentially turn things around here.
Welcome to
Even
Mobile
though it
worried.
was mentioned in the first phase of
What?
the draft, it was already quite.
Why do you sound so worried? I mean, they've got a chance to even it out 1-1. It's anybody's game, and yes, CG may look quote-unquote cleaner, but it doesn't mean that it's a guaranteed win. BSE, if they get like an early first blood, this is going to get a lot harder.
Oh, but wait, that early first blood might actually be balanced if he did not use the flicker there. So now we see the revitalize effect.
It's a little bit too eager to take that trade in the center, huh?
Ah.
It's a trade, but look at Shin. He is making sure that he is putting the hurt onto Chiku, right? Every single time. Like, Chiku, as much as he can poke out Shin, he's just healing off the wave every time, which Chiku cannot do.
Very easy for a Lunox to self-sustain at the center. Also, maybe one of the best that you can do to pack up against an Eve. Still, Valens wants to fight this. Can easily get movement speed for himself, but without a flicker, he'll need to be a little bit more tactical of when he decides to take those fights.
Yeah, because again, even if they try to go for the all-in, there's a very good chance that Shin actually wins out in the fight because there's just more bodies that he could heal off of. Chiku just doesn't have the raw burst damage just yet, right? Let's not forget that even for Steffe, that Revitalize, very low cooldown. It's already 19 seconds before it's off. And then maybe could potentially save somebody else's life. I am curious about the top side, though. Is Ye3 winning the lane as hard as he possibly can?
Well, it seems like he's somehow forcing Orochi to not overextend as much. And the fact that Gary too is currently over there. But it seems like they're going to change their priorities a bit. They want to go for the mid lane, but instead Balance will be the first to fall. First blood for Black Sentence, and it's Haidon Bush who gets it.
Yep. Balance was probably hoping that he could live a little bit longer there, but just the raw damage coming in from Haidon Bush gonna be enough to take him out. On top of Shin, let's not forget Shin.
A much better start for Black Sentence here, and Shin,
Gary?
speaking of Shin, finds Gary! And now, instead, Amzik will be the one to trade things out. Steffe though, oh no. CG Esports 2 will find 2.
Oh, that was so dangerous. Thank God Amzik checked that and saw the light wheel coming out. That would have been an awful way to die.
Yeah, Doom would have been ready. Let's look at the hand cam brought to us by the Realme 15 Pro 5G, the M7 official gaming phone. Highlight onto Haidon Bush, who was able to get the first turn of the game and now dash in and out in this one.
gosh.
Kin?
Chiku forced to flicker out. Black Sentence are dealing with Valence really, really well so far. It's like they're not afraid to throw out their damage.
Yep, they shouldn't be because, again, they have a lot of ways to actually maintain themselves in this fight. And let's not forget that Valence, his debuff for the Power Wilderness is all based off of, hey, are you using armor? Does my mid laner use armor? No. So literally he's getting a net nothing from it, other than maybe Amzik and arguably even Gary. So every time you see Gary, Ye3, or even Amzik looking for maybe an entrance in, Valence is going to be your trigger finger.
Amzik now double laning here. Just to speed up his farming process. He does have a lead over the carry, floating around 400 to 500 gold.
He's got to be patient. They got to be extremely patient because those first items, especially when you start developing a 2-point-K lead, the neutral objectives suddenly become uncontestable.
Yeah, and their rotations can be an opening for Black Sentence once again, since Steffi and Shin are not really letting go of this river control, and they've been constantly trying to burst down members of CG Esports who passed through. But fortunately, they regain control of it, though, and force out a reaction somehow from Steffi.
Valence just man-to-man marking this guy. Okay.
Okay, so Glorious Pathway and the Real World Manipulation both used at the same time. Jingo actually takes the turtle for CG Esports, and now they're trying to look for the kills as well. Steffi goes down, but so does Chiku. Orochi dealing so much damage and zoning. Hydon Bush will show himself up, and now CG will disengage. Oh my goodness!
Oh, yeah! Nicely done by Gary. He understood that somebody is going to walk down. The high likelihood that it was going to be either maybe Shin or, in this case, Doom, he got him for sure. Wait.
They actually want to go for Orochi. Oh, Falling Star Moon lands onto both of them, though. Valent has to run away!
No!
Now the flicker finishes off the kill.
Wow. Orochi 1v2's that.
Yeah,
who would have guessed?
Esmeralda, right? We can handle him. Don't worry about the shield that you get for yourself, Hilda. It'll be okay.
I don't know what the decision there was, but I think they kind of forgot how this hero works. But that's fine. That's fine. This is just a lethal reminder not to put your shields in front of Esme.
Yeah, I have a feeling that CG Esports was way too greedy in getting Amzik another Sky, or getting Amzik a Sky Piercer stack, because he built up the Sky Piercer before that turtle. So that means Valence was probably like, "Hey, Amzik, you want to get this guy? It's an Esmeralda. He's really low. You want to stack, bro?
Dude, that's
of course Amzik. He's like, you can't blame him for saying, "Oh, you have lead. I want to stack."
That sounds like a great idea. I'm 1 in 3.
Don't be fooled. And now Valence gets slowed so much.
Bro.
Nowhere to run for the Hilda. Ye3 all alone here, uses the Vengeance, tries to take on Doom, but now he sees Shin and Steffi running after him. Fortunately, there's no Glorious Pathway anymore, and with the Cyclone Eye, where is he planning to go?
Keep running circles.
Oh,
Just give it to the tower, Ye3.
Yeah. He's gonna go for an
Oh.
execute. Wait, can he go for an execute? No, he went back into combat. Yeah, now he's dead here no matter what.
Yeah.
He sort of tried dealing with the waves before going down, but
Honestly, it's not a bad idea, right? Because now the waves, especially on top side, is going to be on a slow push in favor of
Yeah.
CG.
Actually, it all worked out in the end, even though he decided to give the kill away to a member of CG instead of just giving it to the minions.
Brilliance forced out. Real world manipulation once again. Steffi using it to slow everyone down, and Black Sentence secures the turtle. Amzik 2 forced to flicker out. Great response from Black Sentence so far.
I don't like the risks that CG Esports are taking. They were posturing for a 4v5 without Ye3, and they didn't have the key positions on the map to actually find the fight in the first place. Keep in mind, Amzik is going to be the main win condition other than Chiku, who wants to poke out his targets.
Yeah, Chiku hasn't had a similar game compared to game number 1, for sure. Black Sentence have handled this even better. Look at Shin again!
They're going for the dive. Thorned Rose, another puncture in, but there's a stun! Now Hydon Bush goes down. Falling Star Moon targeting Valence. He's in the bush, but it's not gonna matter. Now Ye3 and Amzik trying to work on Orochi. He's running away. There is a decent amount of damage, but it's not gonna be enough. It's an Esmeralda that gets to escape.
The most painful thing about that is that Black Sentence couldn't even get the last hit on the tower that they needed.
Yeah.
That hurts.
That hurts. I was like, man, that tower's gotta go at some point. Nah, it's still gonna be alive, but they're gonna lose and trade a tower down on the bot side. That's gonna be another T1 missing. Top and a bottom gone. In terms of items, though, I'm waiting for Gary to get to that point where he starts one-shotting targets, right? And I think he's almost there. The big issue right now is the fact that these boots are saving certain people. Doom, he's basically gonna get one-shot no matter what, but this Esmeralda is kind of untouchable.
Yeah. Who else could deal with it? I mean, Amzik was trying.
They need Chico to get a Wishing Lantern first.
Oh. Now Orochi shows up.
Chico needs a Wishing Lantern and a Divine Glade, because eventually Orochi's going to get a Radiant Armor, right?
Oh, now they burst Orochi down! Wait! But with the flicker, he's actually able to stay alive! Gary instead will be the casualty of that fight. Balance going in. Yeah, 3-2 using the Curtain Call and the Yo-Yo Blitz. But all that for Gary.
Yeah, the Steph is stunned, man. The high loss.
What can you do? What can you do? Honestly, they got pretty close to bursting him down. Luckily, the Dreadnought armor really negates like a good chunk of that on top of the extra stun coming in from Steffe. But at this point, I think that CG Esports need to identify... Wait, hold on.
Oh, they're going for Valence this time around. Valence has to run away, but with the Glorious Pathway, he gets slowed so much. Okay, another flicker forced out of Amzik, and it seems like Black Sentence are in control so far. Ye3 has the Curtain Call. Does he use it already? He does, but without their retribution, they do not get to secure the objective. Now they're just trying to go for the chase. They will deny this purple buff. And that's about it for CG Esports.
Yep, that's as good as it gets. If they can get this mid-tier one, I think even better.
Oh! And they get Orochi too. I think that's way better for CG Esports.
Dang, Amzik is slick with it. Like, I knew he was slick with it back at MPL MY, but on an international stage, it's looking real good.
Yeah, 2-0 and 5. Black Sentence got the Lord, but they lost a lot out of that one.
Uh-oh.
It's a question of can they even make something out of it. Gary not getting chased.
Shit is here too, and there are minions. There's no way out if you were Gary.
There's so many arguments that can be made right now, but for now, CG just need to defend, right? They just need to minimize the economical damage. They created small leads, but now that the structures are going to start falling down, that should put them at like, what, an 800? Yep, down to 500 now as they look for mid-tier 1.
Oh, Steffi.
Don't let them, don't let them.
Another beautiful Glorious Pathway, but from the sides. The damage from Shin and Doom are a bit too much for CG Esports to deal with. Not when they're frontliners, not when Valence gets bullied so much on this Hilda, even before he gets to do anything.
Latin America's brightest talent in a long time, 3-1 and 6. The entries have been perfect, and we felt it all throughout. Even in the early game, that Lunox, the timing, all so good.
And they keep on finding these timings. CG really need to start tightening up the way they play around the map because they just assume that they move faster, therefore they're not going to make it there in time. But these interceptions, now that the mid-tier one, that the tier 1s on top and bottom are missing, they need space with the mid-T1 to be destroyed. That's when you have full access to enemy jungle. That's when you have more aggressive jungle pathings to be able to get to places without getting punished too hard.
Because it seems like at this point, Black Sentence have found ways to deal with the potential threat of a Hilda or the pressure that they could expect from a Hilda. There's no hesitation whatsoever for Shin if they get to find him all alone.
Yeah.
And you get to poke him low enough, and it's like that's what matters, because then you take out the frontliner for CG Esports, and that leaves you with what? Yeah, 3, the CC. And that's pretty much a decent target for whoever your damage dealers are right now too.
Yeah, I think they were really able to set the story here after what they were able to do in Valence during the laning phase. They handled the Hilda really well. They forced the flicker out early. First turtle comes up, and without the flicker, the Hilda fell down very quick.
Yeah.
So now through that, they know that, okay, what could have been a Hilda snowball has already been managed. We're handling the lane really well. So let's look at the top 5 banned heroes for the M7 Swiss stages so far. Of course, Juicin up there, constantly banned and contested here, but a 40% ban rate. If he's not banned, most likely the juicing gets picked up. But this is a really good picture of what teams see as some of the best. Fanny, a year later, is still up there in the most banned. M6, same case.
It will always be there. The kid is diverse, and the kid has such a high level of skill expression that no numbers will really change the fact that she can be across the map in less than a minute.
Yeah.
Especially with the changes in terms of the energy so far, the regeneration. So when you see games where the Fanny's on the losing end and they just defend miraculously because of the repetitive cabling over the crystal. So yeah, I think there have been a lot more highlights for the Fanny recently because of the changes.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about Fanny? They keep increasing the ceiling, but players easily maybe give it like a 2 or 3 weeks. It's like, all right, no, we're good. We're still back. It still feels like Fanny hasn't been touched at all.
Yeah.
There are no nerfs. What do you mean nerfs? It was just something just happened.
Well, the thing about Fanny at the very least is that I feel that there's enough skill expression where the scaling just depends on how well you execute at the end of the day, right? Like, it's clearly designed in a way you want to play mid to early. If you happen to get into the late game, you're going to have to like really go above and beyond to try and make that happen. But now we're coming to the end of the technical pause. It looks like everything has been settled. Thank you to Gary once again for settling that real quick for BSE's side. Let's jump back into the game real soon here. I want to see how this breaks out, right? Because Lunox is such a huge problem. Now that she's already got 2 items in the bag, like any tanks walking up is going to get poked out harder than Chiku can apply pressure.
Speaking of tanks, I don't think Valens has a magic defense item yet.
Oh no, he does not.
Oh yeah, so he only has the Chastis and the Dominance Ice.
But you do get magic defense from the Dumb Eyes, so
Oh yeah,
should be okay. I think 40? 40 apiece, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, it's not much when you're up against the Lunox. That's
True.
the big issue, right? It doesn't matter how much MR you actually have. Other than the Athena shield, it kind of feels a little sad.
So at this point, would you rather build the Athena shield or the Radiant armor?
You kind of need a little bit of both, right? Because the Radiant armor makes sense when you're fighting Orochi, but the Athena shield is particularly good for Shin because once you're in that darkening form, you're machine gunning. If you're not machine gunning, you're wasting time.
yeah. Especially if they go in and for the surprise, because you never know at this point. Shin might not even care about Valens anymore and just go for a big play.
Oh, Shin. Speaking of Shin, you just mentioned now has a Divine Glaive, so it's not going to be a fun time for Valens at all. At this point, he's wishing that he has Athena shield. Even Year 3 doesn't really have magic defense per se in like the most rawest, purest form. Everyone on the side of CG is just going to fall down quickly to Shin's Lunox if they cannot get it down quickly.
Much better game for Shin. Year 3 doesn't use the curtain call just yet, but that was a great dodge that we saw from Hide on Bush. Are they forcing a fight here before the Lord?
No, they're probing. They're probing for a reaction against Black Sentence, right? If they get too caught up in the probing, then they're going to take that fight, and CG is more than happy to start peeling away because they've got plenty of peel with cikugais alone. Oh my god.
Great poke. Great poke from Amzik.
By the way, he has not died yet. He does have a single stack on that Sky Piercer from his second kill. That can easily just start chaining. Black Santas needs to watch it.
Oh, Gary tries bursting down Orochi, but now they just decide to go for it. There's the glorious pathway, the falling star moon. Year 3 forced to use the vengeance as well, but every single one of CG Esports is still alive. The real world gets cancelled. Gary tries to go for Shin, but the damage is not enough. Fortunately, Year 3 finishes it off, but I'm sick all alone. How is he able to do this? Orochi's chasing after him, but he still has the flicker. That's a 2-for-3 trade so far.
Amzik's out of bullets here, but he'll be able to get back to base. Meanwhile, it's Lancelot and Carry. It's Hide on Bush, Doom and Orochi. Able to secure this Lord for Black Sentence. Orochi stands in front of the Death Sonata, and now CG will have to defend with his Lord push.
I think Valens has to get on top of Orochi. I think he has to put the debuff onto Orochi to allow Amzik to actually deal some relevant damage, because right now Chiku is just not cutting it. Look at the way that this fight actually plays out, right? Chiku is point blank in their faces with the RWM. It's a great angle, don't get me wrong, but you put yourself in such a dangerous spot that both Steffe alongside with Orochi is able to do whatever they want. They had their way with him.
So long as Orochi's there, CG is always gonna have a problem.
It's going to be a bigger problem if they just leave it be. What else? Where's Chiku currently at? He's already got the Divine Glaive and the Wishing Lantern. It's not that like he doesn't have enough damage.
His front line, dude. Front line is falling down way too quick.
They just need to peel slowly. Just let your boy Chiku do the work, right? Let him walk up. Let him try and get those Void Blasts down. Let him get those procs.
They'll be defending this lore down bottom first, but they decide to commit so much shit also going in. And look at the amount of damage that they're able to deal. Real World to stop them though. Curtain Call coming in from Ye3 alongside the Vengeance, but they cannot find any kills. It's only Orochi that goes down. They're probably gonna be happy with that, and they're gonna try to look for more, but Black Sentence don't wanna fight.
You can see how hesitant Gary is. He's like, I could go further. Dash retry, get him, Amzik.
I really thought he'd bounce after getting that retry off. It's like, oh, he just wanted to get the slow. Oh no, he actually really doesn't want to.
I don't want to go in, Chief.
I don't want to do this, man.
Amzik's
Way too risky.
Dude, I can only imagine that Amzik, he's a really humble, really nice kid.
Yeah.
But imagine if Chiku's good old like toxic goal laner traits rub off on him. He's screaming at Gary, jump him! Why are you scared? Die for me!
CG, though, were able to defend that well. Black Sentence got as good as it could get. Pretty sure they wanted to get that mid tower too, but they ran out of the minions, and with how CG were defending, they needed to back off. Amzik now has 2 stacks on this Sky Piercer that still, I mean, it's not as bad as like having more than 50, but still, it's 2 stacks to work with.
Yay, Valence also has the Athenas now.
Oh, he should be able to survive a little bit more. But Shin has been positioning very well in the fights. Chiku having a really hard time reaching the Lunox with the real world manipulation.
This is so sad. He's participated in so many fights. Only 20 stacks, 7 assists. Feels bad. I mean, a lot of it just comes down to Orochi and Stefe just blocking a majority of the shots. There's so many times where it's like, oh, somebody's down to 1 HP, and Gary's like, man, I really don't want to die for this, but I have to.
Oh, Stefe again as the target.
Whoa!
Unfortunately, gets to dash away from the glorious pathway. Now the Wind of Nature is forced out. Chiku! Amzik! 2 crucial players get taken down by Black Sentence even before the fight is able to happen. Valence, Ye3, and Gary, they're the only ones left to defend this incoming siege. Doom! Every single member of Black Sentence is still alive. Shin goes in once again, not even with the Athena shield. Can Valence survive this? Black Sentence are bringing us to a game 3.
Nicely done by Black Sentence, really taking advantage of the disrespect coming in from Valence, and most importantly, took advantage of a Lunox. Yes, she does so much burst damage. Hide in a couple of bushes, take him out, put him behind. That's what you want to see.
Future looking bright here for Black Sentence. And for Latin America, they force CG, the runner-ups, to MPL Malaysia Season 16, all the way to 3 games. Again, this is an elimination match. If CG wins this, maybe to most as expected. If Black Sentence wins this, this could be the most high-profile win of a Latin America team in the M Series after a very long time. Shin was excellent on this Lunox.
Really, really great stuff coming in from BSE. Throughout this entire fight, we have to make sure that a lot of the members, the one thing I don't get here is why is Valence just kind of watching him? He's just like looking at him. It's just like, what am I going to do? I feel like he already used his abilities, which is why he didn't really participate. He had no ult, wasn't able to get mini stuns off as well. Would have liked him to actually try and just, die for it, but even so, at the end of it all, there's just more scaling on the side of BSE in comparison to CG.
You can see how their comms are going. They knew that they had it already. The moment that we weren't able to see the value out of the Hilda disrupting as much of BSE and their early rotations, things started to get or look a bit sideways. Chiku, it's not like all of the attention was onto Chiku anymore even. I feel like majority of the attention in the early stages of the game fell onto Valence. And that was so difficult for CG here because Valens was such a crucial player to set the tempo and to start things off for CG, but he got picked off like how many times in a row?
He got bodied, man. He got put in his place.
Wow, CG. I'm pretty sure they were thinking that, hey, guys, good ride here. We'll be able to get it with the sweep. Cool. After what happened game number 1, I don't see much from Black Set, and suddenly gets turned around after them, which is funny because considering the bans that they went for were really just focusing so hard into what the Rome mid trio can do. They took out Grok, Kalea, Juice, and Selena, 4 heroes devoted just for the Rome mid alone, and then just, of course, use man.
And they knew
just put it there.
and they knew they were responding to a Lancelot first pick.
Yeah.
Everything looked like it was going so well.
I think that the wrench in the plans had to be the Hilda, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest blunder there throughout the entirety of the draft.
Like, who would have thought, like, how they started it off with Valens getting forced out of the flicker and him dying in Turtle 1 just started a chain of events, which led to this, Shin going 5-2 and 9. Because after that initial trade, with Valens no longer being able to comfortably front for the Eve during the next little bits of laning before they have to go around this person trying to control the river, it meant that Chico was lagging behind, and then eventually Shin was able to comfortably find kills, get farm alongside Stefan.
Yep. And it's not just Shin that you got to worry about. Even Doom, right? So you have 2 possible people who basically just melt you down like butter, and yet you have to be the one that actually opens up the map. Because if Chiku does it, Shin's just going to darkening forward and just blast him and force out a flicker, right? At the end of it all, I think that Orochi caused way too many problems for this team. And there was a really good argument for Amzik to not be on this Granger and actually play for a Trinity-style marksman like Moskov. But let's really break down this game. Some of the major moments that we see really came down to the early fights, because honestly, I gotta give it to BSE. They played one hell of a game. They fixed their early a lot. Their neutral objective controls, huge A+. But I think they now are really taking advantage of the draft to hurt CG. Do not give them heroes that scale that well. If you need a snowball hero like Granger, it's okay. As long as we kill him one time within the period of 8 minutes while he has Sky Piercer, you reset him back to basically nothing. But as these fights continue to progress, notice the shape of the fights. They're always fighting in enemy territory. They want to make sure that they're really close to at least one of these lanes, so maybe Hide on Bush could either charge down their targets, utilizing that wave, or better yet, just chasing the entire team down. Which is why we see, as much as CG wants to play from many different angles, from top side to bottom side, doesn't matter. If they split apart, it's a tough fight. If they stick together, it's just more value for BSE.
Even during moments like this, Hide on Bush 2 was a bit too free during this entire game. The fact that they got to force out the flicker early and denied balance of the potential invades, Hide on Bush got to complete the farming rotations that he wanted to. And all his entries too were very much on point throughout this entire game. Like whenever he just wanted to dive in and look for Chiku, I think Chiku mainly was the guy who just couldn't settle with the real world manipulation unlike he did in the previous game because of this Lancelot.
Well, I mean, he also isn't like 6-1 by like 8 minutes. That's also another pretty big factor. But besides that, I really think that there was a bit of a blunder coming down when, to the drafting phase specifically. You're preempting for an instant counter onto a potential Lancelot when really every time you see these Hildas in these bad matchups, what's the counterplay? Just have a support that just clears faster than your opponents and then just move your dudes down. You get pulled back by like, what, 4 seconds on the delay, maybe 6 seconds if you get reset? Doesn't matter. Those 6 seconds are saved as soon as your mid laner shows up. It helps you full clear.
It's one of those games where we really get to see why us casters love to put a lot of focus into the mid priority.
Yes.
Who gets to clear minion waves faster, who forces out battle spells first during the first 3 to 4 minion waves at the center of the map, because you get this. These are the kind of results that you get wherein theoretically the Hilda should be able to mess up the lineup that has the Lancelot. If it's not the Lancelot he's messing up, it's easy for the Hilda to access Shin, access Doom, because Orochi and Steffe have to spend a little bit more time going forward, the glorious pathway forward. But then what if the Hilda suddenly struggles because they messed up in the first few minion waves? this is what you get.
Exactly. And I think the biggest adjustment for the side of CG is when they start to divide their resources. Because I feel like there were so many moments where